Hi, I'm Marcus from Raritan Woodworks, and in this video I'm going to be walking you through how I made a monitor riser for my PC setup here at home. I started this project with a piece of 5/4 sapele that measures about 5.5 inches wide. I then jointed both edges of the piece, and I had to use my table saw for this and a sled because my jointer is just too small. I then ripped the width of this piece so that after resawing here at the bandsaw, I'll get the full width of about 7 inches for this monitor riser. Here I'm just ripping straight in half, resawing the piece, and then lining them up to see if everything's going to come together. And everything was jointed well. So to join these, I'm going to be using this groove I'm creating for a spline, and I'm adding this to all the pieces. You can see I've already cut a piece to length, and that's what the groove will look like. I then created some spline material and brought it down to the thickness using a drum sander, and I was ready to start gluing up the pieces. It's important that you don't put glue inside of the groove itself because the glue is water-based and it will cause the groove to swell, and then you won't be able to get your spline inside. There's plenty of glue surface, especially with that spline reinforcement, that you're not really going to have to worry about this being an issue when it comes to strength. And here's all the pieces after glue up. So now they're about 7 inches wide, and I brought them over to the drum sander to get them nice and smooth. Now here I'm just trimming to final length for these pieces, and I actually stacked them, taped them together. This way my pieces match exactly, both the top and the bottom, as well as all the components that make up the inside of the monitor riser. Now here I'm creating the dados that are going to accept all of the internals of this monitor riser, like the second shelf and the boxes for the drawers. And you can see here are those internal components assembled. And it's not an incredibly tight fit, which is important because with swelling things could expand and then explode, so just a nice snug fit is perfect. Here I'm marking out where I'm going to cut the dados in the top and the bottom piece to accept all of these internal components. Now you can see I actually have the top and the bottom taped together so that I could run the dado across both pieces and they will line up perfectly. So when I put these adjacent from each other, the dados will be perfectly across and will accept those vertical portions for the internal pieces. Now you can actually see near where I'm gluing there's a filler piece, and I'll explain more about that very soon. So here I'm just gluing up all these internal components, making sure to put glue in just the bottom of the dado. I don't want to add to the side walls of the dado because of course that would add swelling. Water-based glue, it could be a mess. Here I just used a clamp to make sure everything was lined up. It's better than hitting it with a hammer. You can actually use the clamp to kind of make sure that things are lined up perfectly. And you can see here, that's that filler piece. So at this point, I actually made a mistake. I was not supposed to put a dado in the bottom of the monitor riser, but because I had taped the top and the bottom together and ran my dados across both pieces, hoping that everything would line up later in the future during assembly, I accidentally put a dado in the bottom where there shouldn't be. My solution to this was to fill it and then trim back the piece that I used as filler. Because this is my own monitor riser, it's not that big a deal for me. If I was making this for a customer, I'd be pretty upset at this point because I would have to start back at the beginning with making a whole new bottom piece. So here I'm adding the sides, and these are also just dadoed in. I guess technically they're rabbited in, but it's the same concept. You just create a groove and then put the piece in the groove. Now that's what everything looked like with all the clamps. And now we're going to go ahead and trim that filler piece flush. Having a nice flush cut saw is really important, especially if you work with dowels a lot, or of course you make mistakes a lot, like myself.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, it's gonna work out. Here I'm just applying some finish. It's just satin lacquer in a spray can. Simple, easy. Of course, you want to do this outside because lacquer is no good for you. I didn't even really wear a respirator here, though I probably should have. You know, it was kind of a windy day, so that helped, but you should just be safe and wear a respirator. I applied a couple coats. This was just the first coat. And now I'm going to create some grooves for wires to come out the back. And yeah, this was very uncomfortable to do. I should have been wearing a respirator and some safety glasses. All of the wood chips kept flying right into my face. Oh man, that was rough. So I come back with a respirator, but still no safety glasses.
Bruh.
Guess I didn't learn. I mean, look at my shirt. I'm covered in little chips. That was all going straight into my nose, into my eyes. Not fun. So I just created some back panels using some 1/2" MDF, and they just went right in. No problem at all. Just a snap fit. And I actually glued those in off camera. So here's the finished product. And I think it really came together well. You could kind of see that little mistake that I'm covering up with a book. Some other things I've added for decoration. And then all of my audio equipment on the right there. Everything's wired through the back. I made some drawers with custom organization and some custom fronts. Yeah, I think it turned out not bad. I'm happy with this one. I also made a smaller version for my wife's side of the desk to house her laptop and her Cricut cutting machine on top. I'm going to be making more drawers for this, for the right and the left side. So I hope you enjoyed watching the process of me making this monitor riser. I learned that making mistakes is part of woodworking. Every once in a while you need to make something for yourself. If you're always making things for customers, then those mistakes hit harder when you do make them. I know that I could look down right now and see that mistake, and that could be a constant reminder that I'm improving as a woodworker. Every mistake is a learning experience, and I hope that you take that into your woodworking journey. If you like this video, please drop a like on the video, maybe consider subscribing to my channel. I would also like to put out a video soon on how I made the drawers for this monitor riser. If you would like to see that video, please leave a comment below, just letting me know that, yes, that's a great idea, and I could put that video together for you. Thanks again for watching. My name is Marcus from Raritan Woodworks, and I hope you have a great day.